You are driving down the highway. The sky is clear, your schedule is packed, and Samantabhadra, and statues. You pull over to the shoulder, a flat tire, and as you stand there, staring at the shredded rubber on the side of a busy road, you look up at the sky and mutter the same word millions of people mutter every single day: karma. You think to yourself, what did I do to deserve this? Who is keeping score? For thousands of years, the Western world has fundamentally misunderstood this ancient word. We treat it like a cosmic justice system. We imagine a divine scoreboard in the sky, keeping a meticulous ledger of our good deeds and our worst mistakes, waiting for the perfect moment to deliver a shiny reward or a crushing punishment. We use it to explain away bad luck. We use it to comfort ourselves when someone wrongs us, whispering that karma will get them in the end. But this is not a story about a universe keeping a ledger of your sins. This is not a story about a cosmic judge punishing you for your past lives. This is not a story about mystical retribution. This is a story about the exact, terrifying, and completely liberating mechanics of your own mind. To understand how profoundly we have gotten this wrong, we have to look into a dark forest in ancient India. A man stands alone among the trees. Society calls him a monster. He breathes heavily, his hands stained with violence. Around his neck, he wears a horrific, bloody garland made entirely of human fingers. According to the rigid laws of karma we are taught today, this man is utterly doomed to an eternity of torment. His fate is permanently sealed. The scales of cosmic justice demand his absolute destruction. Here's what most people miss. The universe does not care about scales. The universe is not a judge. The true nature of karma is not a punishment handed down from above. It is something you are building piece by piece in the quietest corners of your consciousness every second of every day. And the man in the forest with the garland of fingers is the ultimate proof that the scoreboard is a lie. Imagine walking through the blistering heat and choking dust of ancient India, centuries before the Buddha was born. You are born into grinding poverty. You are told you are untouchable. You are not allowed to drink from the same well as the wealthy priests or the noblemen. And when you ask the religious leaders why your life is so hard, they give you a simple, devastating answer. They tell you it is your karma. They tell you that you are carrying the debt of a past life. You must have made a terrible mistake 100 years ago, and now the universe is punishing you. You deserve the dirt beneath your feet. This was the original oppressive weight of the concept. It was an iron cage of absolute fatalism, a cosmic debt collector that you could never outrun, no matter how hard you tried. You just had to suffer quietly and hope your next life might be a little bit easier. But then, a prince walks away from his palace. Siddhartha Gautama sits down beneath the shade of a Bodhi tree, determined to figure out why human beings suffer so deeply. And when he finally wakes up to reality, he does something profoundly rebellious. He looks at the system of cosmic debt and he dismantles it. He strips the mystical dread right out of the ancient Indian legal system. He takes the concept of karma and fundamentally rewrites it into a tool for psychological liberation. In a famous discourse called the Nibhedka Sutta, Siddhartha makes a claim that shatters the old world. He says, "Intention, I tell you, is karma." And this is where the Western world gets it completely wrong. The Pali word Siddhartha used is satana. It means volition. It means the impulse, the specific psychological drive behind your action. Without satana, there is no karma. If you are walking down the street and you accidentally step on an insect in the grass, the universe does not deduct points from your cosmic scorecard. There was no intention. You did not decide to cause harm. The action was empty. The universe is not waiting to trip you up on a technicality. Siddhartha separated the ancient superstition into two distinct, observable realities. There is karma, which is purely your intentional action. And there is vipaka, when someone recklessly cuts you off in traffic and then immediately gets pulled over by a police car down the road. You probably laugh and call it instant karma. But it isn't. You were watching vipaka. You were watching the fruit fall from the branch. The karma was the selfish intention that driver generated a mile back when they decided their time was more valuable than everyone else's safety. To make this brutally clear, the oldest and most famous collection of the Buddhist sayings, the Dhammapada, opens with a chilling, undeniable image. It states that the mind precedes everything. All mental states are mind grutus. If you speak or act with an impure, angry, or selfish mind, suffering will follow you. How? It follows you like the heavy wooden wheel of a cart follows the hoof of the ox pulling it. You are the ox. Your intention is the harness. Every time you act out of spite, every time you choose cruelty, every time you let jealousy win, you are strapping yourself to a massive wooden cart. And wherever you walk, that heavy, grinding wheel will follow right behind your heel, crushing the dirt, weighing you down until your knees buckle. It is not a punishment from an angry God, it is just physics. Cause and effect. If you harness yourself to a heavy cart, your shoulders will bleed. If you plant a seed of bitterness in the soil of your mind, a bitter fruit will eventually grow. You do not need a judge in the sky to sentence you to misery. You are doing it to yourself, moment by moment, choice by choice, intention by intention. For your entire life, you have been conditioned to look outward for a judge. You have been waiting for the universe to balance the scales, hoping that good behavior guarantees a smooth road and fearing that a single mistake will bring down a cosmic hammer. But the judge is not in the sky. The judge is the quiet intention behind your own actions. You are the one holding the gavel. If this shift in perspective is helping you unlearn the heavy myths of the past, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. We decode these profound ancient truths every single week, peeling back the layers of misunderstanding so you can see reality exactly as it is. Now watch what happens next, because the mechanics of your own mind are much faster and much stranger than you think. Imagine two great ancient empires colliding. A powerful Greco-Bactrian king named Menander, known in the ancient texts as Melinda, sits across from a brilliant Buddhist monk named Nagasena. The king is deeply frustrated. He is a conqueror, but he is also a scholar, trained in the rigorous logic of Greek philosophy. He understands the rigid, mathematical world of Aristotle. And as he listens to this monk, he asks the exact same question you are probably asking yourself right now. The king leans forward and demands to know a secret. If Buddhism teaches that there is no permanent soul, no eternal, unchanging self, then who exactly is carrying all this karma? If I am constantly changing, if the person I was 10 years ago is practically dead, then who receives the cosmic bill? Who is left to be punished? Stay with me. Because Nagasena's answer is an absolute masterpiece of ancient physics. Nagasena tells the king to imagine a candle burning brightly in a dark room. He tells him to take a second, unlit candle, and touch the wicks together until the second candle catches fire. The room is suddenly twice as bright. Then, Nagasena asks a very simple, profound question. Did the flame from the first candle travel over to the second candle? No. Is the second flame the exact same flame as the first? No. Is it a completely different flame? Also no. It is a continuation. It is the unbroken transfer of heat and energy. You do not have a rigid, unchanging soul that gets tossed into a mystical courtroom at the end of your life. You are a series of flickering moments. What transfers from one moment of your life to the next is not a permanent identity, but the momentum of your intentions, the raw heat of your actions. If you burn with anger today, you are passing that heat directly to the person you will become tomorrow. The flame changes, but the burning continues. You inherit the momentum of your own mind. But it gets stranger, and the stakes get infinitely more intimate. Centuries after King Milinda asked his questions, an Indian scholar named Buddhist sat down and compiled a massive text called the Visuddhimagga. He didn't just study abstract philosophy. He mapped out the precise, mechanical micro-moments of human consciousness, like a hyper-advanced neuroscientist working thousands of years before brain scanners were invented. Buddhist revealed something quietly terrifying about how we live our lives. We like to think of karma as massive, life-altering decisions. We think we generate karma when we commit a crime, or save a life, or betray a friend. We think we are making karmic choices maybe 3 or 4 times a year. We wait for the big moments. Buddhist said no. You are generating karma in fractions of a millisecond. He described human consciousness not as a smooth, continuous river, but as distinct, rapid-fire drops of water. Billions of cognitive moments flashing in and out of existence faster than the blink of an eye. And within these microscopic flashes, your intention is actively working. Every time you open your phone and doom scroll through a sea of outrage, feeling that tight, familiar knot of judgment in your chest. You are spinning the wheel. Every time someone speaks to you and you mentally roll your eyes, shutting them out before they even finish their sentence, you are spinning the wheel. Every time you choose distraction over presence, anxiety over breath, resentment over a simple act of forgiveness, you are making a micro-decision, a flash of satana, a tiny spark of intention, and in that microscopic space, you are carving a deep, permanent groove into your own mind. You are not waiting for a lightning bolt of cosmic justice to strike you from the clouds. You are slowly, silently, invisibly building the psychological prison you will wake up in tomorrow morning. Let us return to the dark forest. The man breathing heavily, wearing the horrific garland of human fingers, is named Angulimala. He is a mass murderer. He is the ultimate extreme test case for everything we have talked about. If the Western idea of karma is right, if the universe is a giant courtroom keeping a flawless record of your sins, then Angulimala's score is negative infinity. He is permanently, hopelessly doomed. No amount of good deeds could ever tip the scales back in his favor. But then, Siddhartha Gautama walks into the forest. Angulimala sees the Buddha walking calmly among the trees. The killer draws his sword and begins to run, but a strange thing happens. No matter how fast Angulimala sprints, no matter how hard his chest heaves or his muscles burn, he cannot catch up to the monk who is merely taking a slow, quiet stroll. Frustrated, sweating, and desperate, Angulimala screams out, "Stop, ascetic, stop!" The Buddha turns around. He looks at the killer with absolute, unshakable peace. "I have stopped, Angulimala," he says. "It is you who have not stopped." In that fraction of a second, the killer's mind shatters. He realizes the monk is not talking about walking. He is talking about the violent, exhausting, never-ending wheel of intention. The mind on fire. The constant craving. The constant hatred. The heavy cart dragging behind the ox. Angulimala realizes he has been running his entire life, terrified and trapped by his own mind. He drops the sword. He drops his intention. And in that exact moment, he shatters the cosmic scoreboard. Angulimala becomes a monk. He completely stops generating new karma. But there's one more piece to the puzzle. Because escaping the cycle of intention does not mean you magically erase the past. Months later, Angulimala walks into a local village to beg for his daily food. The villagers recognize him. They remember the terror he caused. They remember the people they loved who never came home from the forest. And they are furious. They pick up stones. They throw heavy clods of dirt. They beat him. Angulimala falls to the ground, his begging bowl shattered, his robes torn and soaked in his own blood. He drags himself back to the Buddha, bruised and bleeding. And the Buddha does not offer him a miracle. He does not tell him the universe is unfair. He simply looks at him and says, "Bear it." You are experiencing the ripening. This is the ultimate distinction between karma and Vipaka. The stones hitting his body, that is the Vipaka, the unavoidable fruit of the seeds he planted long ago. The physics of his past actions playing out in real time. But the fact that he sat in the dirt, bleeding, without a single drop of hatred in his heart, without a single urge to strike back, that is the end of his karma. The flame from the first candle did not pass to the second. The chain was broken. You might not be a highwayman hiding in an ancient forest, but you are running, and you are carrying a heavy cart. Today, modern science does not use the word karma. We use a different vocabulary to describe the exact same mechanical reality. We call it neuroplasticity. Neuroscientists have a very famous saying, neurons that fire together, wire together. Every single time you choose to react with anger when your partner says something careless, your brain fires a specific sequence of electrical signals. The first time, it is a faint trail in the dirt. But if you do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next year, you are paving a massive, high-speed neural highway of resentment. You are physically changing the structure of your brain through your repeated intentions. You aren't being punished by the universe for your anger. You are being punished by your own neural pathways. Anger carves a river of anger. Anxiety carves a river of anxiety. You are literally writing the biological code that will determine how you perceive reality tomorrow morning. This is terrifying, but it is also the most beautiful, liberating truth in the world. Because if the universe is not judging you, if the scoreboard does not exist, and karma is simply the psychological momentum you are generating right now, then you hold the only key to your own prison. You can stop. Just like the man in the forest, you can drop the sword. The moment you take a breath, pause, and choose a different intention, you start carving a new path. You stop the heavy wheel of the cart. You break the cycle. As we reach the close of this, I want you to walk away with 3 critical shifts in how you understand your own life. First, karma is not a noun that happens to you. It is a verb you are doing right now. Stop looking at the sky, waiting for the universe to balance the scales or hand you a reward. The scales do not exist. Karma is the active, living intention you bring to this exact moment. Second, you cannot control the ripening. You cannot control the vipaka of the seed you planted years ago, or the unpredictable actions of the people around you. When the heavy wheel of the cart rolls over a rough road, or when the villagers throw their stones, you simply have to bear it. But you have absolute, total power over the satana. You control the seeds you are planting today. You alone control the heat of the candle you pass to tomorrow. And finally, you do not have to be held hostage by the person you were yesterday, no matter how many miles you have run in the wrong direction. No matter how many heavy, dark intentions you have dragged behind you. The moment you pause, breathe, and choose to change your intention, you break the wheel. You are free. Which misconception about karma in this video surprised you the most? Did you spend your whole life thinking it was a cosmic payback system waiting to catch you in a mistake? Tell me below in the comments. Remember, you are not waiting for the universe to judge you. You are writing the code right now. Make it a masterpiece.